People ask me questions all the time about safety and travel, from how do I not get kidnapped to how do I make sure I don't get pickpocketed. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how to stay safe when you travel, and is it even safe for Black women to travel long term? Also, make sure that you stick around to the end of the video because I have an exciting announcement. But first, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Stephanie Perry. When I was 41, I quit my hospital pharmacy technician job to travel the world for a year on my savings. Now I'm a year-round house sitter. I'm the creator of House Sitter School, and I help Black women who are experiencing burnout take time off of work to travel on a budget. If you're interested, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and make sure that you ring that notification bell, and you'll be notified when I post a new video. Welcome. Okay, so right off the bat, I need to say that I'm African American, and so my experiences are different from a Black person from South Africa who's traveling, or a Black person from like the UK who's traveling. So these are my experiences. Because I'm a year-round house sitter and because I travel full-time, when people ask me, is it safe? They're asking a different kind of question, right? Because most places, people feel comfortable when they're going to be staying on a resort or, something. They feel pretty comfortable traveling to most parts of the world. But what they're asking me is, can I go off the resort? Can I move around town safely without being harassed? Can I be in people's homes as a house sitter and not be in danger? I think that question, is the place safe? Can I move around this place safely? I think that question assumes or presupposes that the place that you're traveling to is more dangerous than the place that you're coming from. And honestly, I think that that's probably not true. If you're from the United States, whether you're from a big city or a regular sized town, you're probably from a more dangerous place than the places that you're traveling to. You're probably from a place where there are guns and there are drugs, and where you're going, there probably aren't, or at least not out in, the general population. It's probably kind of clustered in certain areas that you're not going to visit anyway. If you add on top of that the microaggressions that Black people and Black women in particular are subject to on a daily basis in the United States, you're probably really, really going to be surprised when you leave the country long term. Because when you leave the United States, you get to feel a certain privilege that you never get to feel when you're in the US. I would imagine it's very similar to feeling white privilege. When you leave the United States, you're seen as just an American with American dollars, with your American accent. And so people just want the money, right? Merchants and vendors and stuff, they just want the money. They're not dividing you into white American, Black American, whatever. So yes, I do feel safer outside of the United States. It's to the point where I don't even think about issues of safety. Like, I don't even think about, well, I'd like to go to this small town in Mexico. Is it safe? The whole idea of having to ask yourself, is this place safe for me before you go there, is a result of coming from America. It's a result of being from the United States, where we do have to ask those questions. Our parents had to ask those questions, our grandparents. So if that's your first question when you're about to travel to another place, listen to what I'm about to say. Rashida and I interviewed JC about her sabbatical. The link to that is in the description, or you can click up here to watch it. And she said something that I cannot get off my mind. She said that as she traveled long term, she started to see herself as a different person. And she wondered how much of the JC that she was before was real, how much of that was really her, and how much of that was just a persona that she put on to deal with her current environment. I can't stop thinking about that. Once you leave the environment that you're in, you're free to be who you actually are. And who you actually are might not be a person who's afraid of new places or new people. You may just feel that fear because of the environment that you're in. And once you remove yourself from that environment, which is toxic, okay? Which is toxic, that's toxic. If you feel like you always have to look over your shoulder, if you feel like you always need to watch your back, that's trauma. That's the result of trauma. It's something that we live with every day. but it is trauma. And once you remove yourself from that situation, because you can't fix trauma while you're still in the trauma, you have to remove yourself. So once you remove yourself from that situation, you get to see it in perspective. Once you take a lot of time, leave the United States and travel the world long term, or travel to another place long term, you start to feel less concerned with the issue of safety, because you just don't have to think about it all the time. I'm not going to say that nothing bad is going to happen to you out there, but the environment that you're in the US is more dangerous and it is more toxic than when you leave and go someplace else. So if you're considering not traveling because you're concerned about safety, let me tell you that you're probably going to feel a lot safer once you leave. Even though it's an environment that you know nothing about, you might not speak the language, you might not understand the food, you might not know any person, you still won't feel the need to protect your safety, because you'll just be in a safer place. We talked about this a little bit in my Facebook group just the other day, and one of the ladies in the group asked about safety in a couple of different ways, and I was like, you guys back me up. I was trying to explain to her how once you leave the United States for a good period of time, you don't fear for your safety. It's just not something that's on your mind on a regular basis. And I was like, you guys, please back me up. Please, somebody. I know I'm not the only one who feels like this. And a couple of the other ladies in the group who had been gone for a long time, who had traveled long term for a while, commented and said the exact same thing. They're like, yeah, we agree. I know that no matter how many times I tell you that you're going to feel safe when you get out there, like it's like a leap of faith that you're just going to have to take. But you don't have to just trust me on it. There are other women who are saying the exact same thing. Now, having said all that, I do have some specific safety tips for long-term travelers and digital nomads, or regular term travelers. The first of these steps are the same as the steps that you take at home. Keep your head on a swivel. Make sure that you're aware of your surroundings. Don't go to dangerous places. Stick to safer neighborhoods. I went to Salvador in Bahia, Brazil, for my 40th birthday. And it was during the World Cup, and there were tons of tourists everywhere, and a good time. I had Google Maps, and Google Maps gave me directions to go to a church. I like to go to churches and take pictures and stuff. Google Maps gave me directions, but I was like, well, this seems kind of roundabout. I'm just going to walk straight from here to there. So I go, ignore Google Maps, and I'm walking down the street, and I'm walking through a neighborhood, a residential neighborhood. And it starts to feel a little scary, honestly. I started to feel a little scared. But then I walked past these two little girls sitting on a step outside, coloring on the sidewalk with chalk. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm safe. A lady came out of the house that those girls were sitting in front of. She walked down her steps, and she said to me in perfect New Jersey English, "This is a very bad neighborhood." She's like, "This is a very bad neighborhood. What are you doing?" And I told her, because people will peg you as a tourist. I don't care where you are. I don't care if I'm in Brazil and I think that people are going to think that I'm a local. They don't. They know American. They see American and the American dollars, like I said. So I told her where I was going. She's like, "No, you don't go this way." She took me by the hand, walked me down the corner to where they had like a little police pop-up stand, and she was like, "You go and ask them how to get to where you're going." And so I did, and she helped me. That's an important lesson from travel. Strangers will help you. Strangers will look out for you for no reason. It's just, it's something that we don't give people an opportunity to do in our everyday lives, so we don't experience it that often. But I'm telling you, I have been stopped and helped by strangers in every single country, in every single town that I've visited. Someone has taken their time to help me for no reason. This is one of the things, talking about JC from earlier, this is one of the things that I've learned wasn't really me, right? So my fear of strangers and my, I don't know that I was ever afraid of strangers, but I just wasn't interested in strangers, right? You do your thing, I'm doing my thing, I mind my business, you mind your business. Being a long-term traveler has really changed that. Now I'm interested in what you're doing. If you want to stop and have a conversation with me, okay, let's do it, because you never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to talk to. You never know what you're going to learn. Even if what you learn is just, hey, this is a good restaurant, or this is a good island. I had a lady in the Philippines stop me, and she was like, "Have you been to Camotes?" I was on Cebu Island, and she was like, go to Comodes. It's just a ferry ride away. It's really easy to get to. I'm talking about that place was beautiful. White sand, clear water, a sandbar where you could walk out like probably half a mile into the water and still only be up to your knees or your thighs. Beautiful, beautiful place. Just because a stranger stopped and had a conversation with me. Being a Black woman solo traveler is a great conversation starter. There are people who just want to stop and talk to you and figure out, why are you here? Not in a bad way, but in a good way. Why are you here? And then they'll give you some free advice. Okay, but back to the tips. Keep your head on a swivel. Make sure that you are aware of your surroundings. Don't let the environment change without you noticing it. Keep your belongings close to your body. Keep your phone, don't walk, I do this all the time, but don't do it. Don't walk around just with your phone like in your hand. People on a motorbike can come by and snatch it, or someone just walking in the other direction can take your stuff. I started out traveling with a money belt where I would keep some of my stuff inside the money belt, but I haven't done that in years. But in the beginning, that can help you feel a little more comfortable. Some additional steps to help you stay safe while you're traveling. Register for the STEP program. STEP is the U.S. State Department's Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. You just log on to the website. I'll put the link in the description. You just log on to the website and enter where you're going, your dates, your name, and in the event of any type of emergency in that country or any emergency from your family back home, the State Department will know how to get in touch with you. It's a free program, and like I said, it's easy. You just log on to the website. My best safety tip is to get travel insurance. I've made an entire video, which you can watch up here, about travel insurance. And I'm not talking about trip insurance that covers you just in case your luggage gets lost. I'm talking about actual medical insurance that covers you in the event that you need to be hospitalized or medically evacuated overseas. Watch the video about it. Also, make a copy of your important documents. Make a copy of your passport. I also make a copy of the front and back of my credit card and my debit card, and I left that with my mom in case they needed to have that information. So I have a paper copy of my passport, like just jammed into my backpack. I have emailed a copy of that to myself so that I have it electronically, and my mom has physical and digital copies as well. Also, keep your credit and debit cards separate. If one gets lost or stolen, you still have the other. I keep my debit card, of course, in my wallet with me, on me, and then my credit card is in a compartment in my suitcase. Also, beware of buddy system scams. It's a popular scam. Someone will walk up to you and squirt something on you, mustard or something, and while they pretend to clean it off, the other person is picking your pockets. So just, again, be alert and keep your belongings on your body. And finally, I'm going to give you a piece of advice that I never ever follow. Post to social media after you've moved to your next destination. Don't post while you're there. Actually, I posted the other day while I was in the lobby of the hostel. I posted, video of the hostel lobby and, but that's not smart. Especially when you're a woman traveling solo, don't post real time if you can help it. Okay, so if you clicked on this video for information on how to stay safe while you're on your, regular vacation, and now you're curious about this whole house sitting and sabbatical career break travel thing, and you're thinking, hey, I do want to quit my job and travel for a year on a budget, you're in the right place. So I have a Facebook group for my 5-day challenge, the Sabbatical Money 5-day challenge. The link to that is in the description. Every day for 5 days, I will email you about a new way to fund or to pay for your time off of work. We talked about the microaggressions and the out and out safety issues of being a Black American woman. Seriously, I wish that every one of us could experience what it's like to be out of the United States for an extended amount of time. It really is freeing and health restoring and mind renewing. So come on with us. Go ahead and click the link in the description, join the challenge, and we'll find sources to get you out on a sabbatical on a budget. Please take a second and hit the like button on this video if you liked it, and share it with somebody you know who loves travel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
If you're interested, make trash truck.